Okay, very good evening, everyone. Today, I am going to discuss a very important part from profit and loss appropriation. And students are often afraid of this part, that is past adjustment. So let's try to understand this part, past adjustment in profit and loss appropriation. So the chapter is profit and loss appropriation. And the part is past adjustment. And this part is very important even for your exam. In CBSE and in ISC also, questions often come from this area, past adjustment. So first we will try to understand what is this past adjustment or why this portion is called past adjustment. As we know that a partnership firm, when they prepare profit and loss appropriation account, in a profit and loss appropriation account, what are the items written at the credit side? Net profit, interest on drawings. This is generally written at the credit side. And at the debit side, the item comes interest on capital, salary, commission to the partners, any reserve which is kept out of profit for the business, and finally comes share of profit as balancing from the profit and loss appropriation. So this is generally the content of PL appropriation. Now, the items like interest on capital, salary, commission, these items are generally considered in the PL appropriation only when it is mentioned in the partnership deed. Mentioned in where? In the partnership deed. That means whenever this profit and loss appropriation account will be prepared, we should keep in mind the content of partnership deed. Whatever terms and conditions are there in the partnership deed, keeping in mind that we have to prepare the profit and loss appropriation. Now think a situation. In a partnership firm, there are two partners, A and B. Okay, capital contribution. A's capital, we can say it's 2 lakh. B's capital, this is A's capital. B's capital, it's 1 lakh. Interest on capital to be provided at the rate of 10% per annum, and net profit for the year ended. Net profit for the year ended 2022. It's 60,000. Okay. And profit sharing ratio mentioned is, profit sharing ratio is 2:1. Okay. So this is the situation wherein the profit of the year is 60,000. From this profit, interest on capital of the partner should be subtracted, and the rest profit should be shared by the partners as per their profit sharing ratio. But what happened? While preparing the profit and loss appropriation, the partners did not give any effect for this interest on capital. They forgot. They omitted this portion. So what happened? What they did when they prepared the PL appropriation account, simply they took the net profit, entire net profit, which is 60,000, and without considering the interest on capital, this 60,000 they distributed among them as share of profit. So in the ratio of 2:1, A took 40,000 and B took 20,000. So that was the distribution. Now the question is this the correct distribution? The answer is no, this is the wrong distribution. Before providing share of profit, from this net profit, interest on capital should have been debited. And after subtracting interest on capital, the remaining profit would have been shared by the partners as per their profit sharing ratio. but they did not so. Now, this mistake, the accountant came to know in the next accounting year, that is in the year 2023-24. Now, when the accountant comes to know about this mistake, the interest on capital was not provided. The entire profit was distributed as per their share of profit, which was a mistake. So now they want to rectify that mistake in the next accounting year. So in the next accounting year, how the mistake will be rectified? Okay, that is the portion to be considered. In the next accounting year, how the mistake will be rectified. The mistake, what type of mistake the accountant made? That interest on capital was not provided. So in the next accounting year, mistake to be rectified. So that's why this is called past adjustment, because this mistake occurred in the past. Now we are in the next accounting year, we are trying to rectify that. So that's why this portion in profit and loss appropriation we often treat it as past adjustment. The mistake occurred earlier that we are trying to rectify right now in the current year. Now, to rectify this mistake, there are two ways. Two ways are there. The first way, just by passing a single adjustment entry. Whatever mistake we made, we can rectify that mistake by passing a single adjustment entry. This is our way. And another way is this mistake can be rectified. The first one is reversing the mistake we made earlier, and then we will try to give the correct effect. This way also this mistake can be rectified. But this portion comes not so regular. Actually, this portion is important for your examination. Okay, you have to rectify the mistake passing a single adjustment entry. Though this is also very simple, the mistake you made, first you reverse the mistake and then the correct way you follow. The correct effect you have to give. Okay, now first I will show you how to pass a single adjustment entry for this specific cases. As I took the example, you can see here the two partners are A and B. Just see the example. Their capital balance of 2 lakh and 1 lakh, and interest on capital was to be provided 10%. But interest on capital was not provided. So herein, what you have to think in this way. The profit is 60,000. So they distributed the profit in a wrong way, and they took 40-20. So A took 40,000, B took 20,000. Is it the correct amount they took? No. So 40-20 they have actually taken. And then we will try to calculate if the profit was distributed in a right way, then how much amount they would get. That we would try to calculate, and then we will compare in that too. So how we will do this? First I will be writing here the name of the two partners A and B, and then I will write simply a table I will prepare. Amount wrongly distributed. What is the wrong distribution? 60,000 was the profit. So they took this amount in the ratio of 2:1. So A took 40,000, B took 20,000. Is this the correct amount they have taken? No, sir. This is not the correct amount. This is the wrong amount they have taken. Now we will think amount should be distributed. Amount should be distributed. So if the distribution is made in correct way, then how to do the distribution? Then you have to think, first they will get interest on capital. A's capital is 2 lakh, so 2 lakh into 10%, A should get 20,000 and B should get 1 lakh into 10%, 10,000. Okay. And the profit sharing ratio, what was the profit sharing ratio? It was 2:1. Okay, it was 2:1. So the remaining profit, share of profit, because 60,000 is the net profit. From this, if we subtract the interest on capital, so remaining share of profit is 30, which is again to be shared in the ratio of 2:1. So A will be entitled to get 20 and B will be entitled to get 10,000. Now look at this situation. A should get 40 and B should get 20,000. Now you must be thinking that both the amount are same. See, this was the wrong distribution. But if the profit was correctly distributed, then also A would got 40,000 and B would have got 20,000. So wrong distribution ultimately has been the correct amount. So no adjustment entry is required in this example. But if I change this ratio in this sums, I'm making this ratio instead of 2:1, I'm just making it 3:2. Then how we will think? 60,000 is your net profit. Then 60,000 net profit without providing interest on capital they have shared. Then in that case, instead of taking 40-20, how much they have taken? The amount wrong distribution 60,000 into 3 by 5, that is 36,000, and 60,000 into 2 by 5, that is 24,000. So this is the wrong distribution, 36,000 and 24,000. Okay, but finally when we will calculate amount should be distributed, then interest on capital 20 and 10,000, because capital amount I did not change and interest on capital rate also I did not change. So 20 and 10,000, but share of profit 30,000 will not be shared in the ratio of 2:1, rather it would be shared in the ratio of 3:2. So 30,000 into 3 by 5, this will be 18,000, and 13,000 into 2 by 5, this will be 12,000. Then should be amount is getting changed. Instead of 40,000 now it's being 38, and instead of 20,000 now it's being 22,000. Now compare this two. By mistake A has taken 36, but A should take 38. So 2,000 more needs to be given to A. And look at B. B has actually received 24. That is the amount what B has taken. But actual distribution, B should take 22,000. So B has taken 2,000 more. So we will pass a single adjustment entry like this. And while passing the single adjustment entry, the thinking will be like this. A is taken 36,000. A has taken 36,000, but A should take how much? A should take 38,000. So A needs to be given 2,000 more. So A to be credited to A's capital. A should be credited for 2,000. And look at B. B has actually taken 24,000, but B should take 22,000. So B has taken 2,000 more. His capital needs to be reduced, and to reduce the capital, we have to debit B's capital. So B's capital account, it's 2,000. So ultimately, the adjustment entry or rectification entry, whatever you say, that will be B's capital to A's capital. Is this clear? In the first example what I took, the wrong distribution and ultimately the correct distribution, both the amount got same. So no adjustment entry required at that situation. But in the second case, when I changed the ratio from 2:1 to 3:2, then I saw okay, the wrong distribution was 36-24. But if the profit had been distributed correctly, then the amount could be 38 and 22. So then what I did, I compared. A has actually received 36, as you can see here. This is the actual receipt, but should be amount is 38. So he should get 2,000 more. So he is to be credited by 2,000. And B has taken more, but he should get 22. So he has taken 2,000 more. So he needs to be reduced. So he has been debited. So this is the way where we passed a single adjustment entry to rectify this error. Now, instead of passing a single adjustment entry, if we want to do this the second way, if we want to follow the second way, in the sums it will be clearly mentioned okay, whether you have to pass the rectification passing a single adjustment entry or rectification entries. So in the second case, I just told you, reversing the wrong thing. Okay, the mistake you made, first you reverse that. What we did here, profit of 60,000 we shared in the ratio 3:2. So we gave 36,000 to A and 24,000 to B. So that was the wrong distribution. So first entry we will do in this case, if we follow this way of rectification, then we will debit A's capital debit, B's capital debit to profit and loss adjustment account. Why profit and loss adjustment? Since last year accounting was already closed, so it's related to last year, so we are opening or introducing PL adjustment account. So A's capital 36, 24, and this is 60,000. So the profit which was wrongly distributed, I am getting it back. Now profit is 60. Now what we have to do? We have to provide interest on capital. So providing interest on capital, what to do? Interest on capital should be debited. It's 30,000. Then to A's cap, then to B's cap. This is for interest on capital, 20,000 and 10,000 for providing interest on capital. This is the right way of distributing profit. Simply I just reverse the mistake I made, then I gave the right effect. For providing interest on capital debited and A's and B's capital credited. Okay. So now instead of this interest on capital, I should write profit and loss adjustment, because here the profit is here. So instead of debiting interest on capital, I should debit profit and loss adjustment account debit to A's cap to B's cap. And thereafter, the profit sharing ratio, profit and loss adjustment account, the balance 30,000 in the ratio of 3:2 to A's cap and to B's cap. This will be 18,000 and 12,000. So see the differences. Though I am telling you, in most of the cases, the singular adjustment entry is passed. This is often asked to the students. But just simply I am discussing, this is nothing different from this. Herein, I just made the calculation, I got the difference, and then I passed a single adjustment entry. But in this case, what I did, the mistake what I have done, I have reversed this first. B and A was wrongly credited, so I have debited them, and the profit is getting back to in PL adjustment. Then interest on capital provided here, debiting PL adjustment, and then sharing profit, that is the remaining profit is shared between A and B in the ratio of 3:2. So profit and loss adjust account debit to A's capital, B's capital. Thank you.